All right, I'm not in love with my watch list for tomorrow, mostly because tomorrow is a Friday of a holiday week, and I just expect it to be fairly dead. But having said that, I think my list will yield some nice gainers tomorrow. So let's start with CAMT. You know, anytime you have a stock that does 20 million shares in a day and moves from 350 to $5, it's certainly worth keeping on your radar over the next couple months. Well, it's starting to take out. You had a lower high, then you had kind of an equal high right here, and now it's starting to take that out and build. Had a nice day on Wednesday, and then Thursday gapped up and closed above its open. So I mean, I just think this is worth watching. And that was in a weak tape today too. So I want to watch CAMT SGOC. I've kind of got some of the cheaper ones on watch today. And this is, I don't know how else to put it other than this is a crazy chart. But, you know, you had the gap up and a run from like $2 to 322, came all the way back to $2, ripped again, then gapped up, and then sold. So I just have this on bounce watch. I'd be surprised if it gets back down to the $2 area again, so I'm looking for it to bounce before that. But certainly if it gets down between 220 and 240, you've got some consolidation there. So what I'm really looking for is some kind of a narrow range for a while and then an upside break. You know, after the first hour or two, I think we could get a real quick, nice trade in SGOC. So that's one of those that falls into the category of I at least want to have it on a chart. XGTI. Slow charts today. At one point today during the session, this was a solid green candle. And I said that, wow, this chart's really starting to look pretty. It did give a lot of the gains back, but I still want to have it on watch, okay? You had this, well, let me back this out a little bit. You had this crazy move from whatever, like $1.25-ish to 5 over about 3 days. And so anytime, again, when you have a stock that can do that, and that was, you had a 15 million share day there. So then you had some lower highs. And I guess you could call these lower highs. Then a lot of times this would gap up and sell off. So it did it here, did it here, did it here, did it here again. So they love to sell off these gaps up. This is one of the first days you've seen this run on an intraday basis, and nice volume today. I think they put out some sort of press release, I guess sort of trying to include themselves in the whole police camera, making sure police don't abuse their authority, you know, the whole space, the taser, the VII, ISNS, DGLY. I mean, if you're trade at all, you know what I'm talking about. So that release got this going, and who knows if that's going to end up getting legs or not, okay? People are probably researching that tonight, but I do like the volume. I wish it had a stronger close, but this chart really seems coiled after this move back here and all these you know, failed gaps up. Well, now, and you've got great support, by the way, right around $2. Look at all these, the base right below it there, another base here that had popped up, a long base here to pop up, but it's really holding the $2 area. So the next move to me seems like it's going to be up, and hopefully somewhat violently one of these days. So keep XGTI on your radar. OESX. The other thing made too big of a move today to probably you know, have a decent move tomorrow, but if we get some kind of a gap down or something, I would love to buy a break of its early high. This one got halted today. Let me switch to 2-minute candles. This one got halted today, and then when it came out of the halt, I had the projector on for the chat room, and I was actually kind of shocked. They had good news. They're going to retool an automotive plant with their LED lighting or something like that, complete retool. So that's, you know, that was pretty good news, and you had a gap up here that wasn't that big of a gap up. So I told everybody over this little 2-minute candle, 517 with a 506 stop could work, and, you know, after it came out of the halt. And look at this. I mean, man, this went to 630 something. So that was huge, but I like the way that it moved so big. And here's the daily. So this falls into that category. Now keep in mind, this huge volume day for this stock still didn't hit 1 million shares. So that shows you how thin this stock is. It almost never even breaks 1 million shares. Keep that in mind, but it also shows you how nicely this one can move at times. So this now is going to be on my radar for another week or two going forward, and hopefully we'll catch several nice trades in it. All right, Taser I want to have on watch. I think it's up in after hours. Looks like 1840 in after hours. These things, I tell you, they just don't get going during the day, and then they all make these after hours moves. But Taser is in that same space I just talked about and deserves to be on watch every day. And so along those lines, I also want to keep ISNS, DGLY. I really like the fact that ISNS and VII more so, have had a couple nice down days now. Okay, so those could give a really nice bounce one of these days. And then DGLY, I don't know. That thing still needs to come in some to me, but you never know. It's kind of leading the group right now after that crazy move it's made. But so those are the ones I want to have on watch. And then blocks, BLOX, closed at 1358 today, and it went all the way up almost to 1550 in after hours, I'm sure, on earnings. And it looks like it closed in after hours at 1520. So it's in an interesting spot. It's up into the gap. Let's see, this forward. So it's probably right about here in after hours. Sorry, my mouse is set really fast. And so that one is definitely going to be one to watch tomorrow. And then also LOCO, which has been pretty good to us in the chat room, closed at 34.79. It looks like it closed in after hours after earnings at 36.40. So it is gapping up, although not huge. So I want to have LOCO on watch too. And that's really more than I intended to have on watch. Also, CSLT, I'd like to see this come back a little bit, but I think this one could make a really nice upside move again. I started talking about it as a swing a few days ago, and I had some people take it that way and do pretty well. But if this can come in for a day or two, we're going to really start watching that for an upside break again. Over 60% of the float is short, and you had a nice kind of a double bottom here recently on 60s. You can see it there. There's boom, and then it came back down, revisited, and it's off to the races. Like I said, that one needs to come in a bit, but I think that one could give a nice trade over the next day or two as well, or next few days. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that. I got a couple others, but that's a long enough list for now, and we'll find other stuff to trade as the day unfolds. Kind of like OESX. Didn't have that one on watch today, but the halt caught our attention and ended up being a really nice mover for some of our members. All right, I'm done. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.